Are you an online English teacher or want to be an online English teacher, but you don't want to teach kids? Maybe you don't want to build your business quite yet. You're looking for a company. Today, I'm going to talk about the company Twenix, how to apply, and what to expect when you're working for them. I tested out this company for myself, so I'll give you a little bit of a review of my experience working for Twenix as well at the end. I've been teaching online, both with companies and independently, since 2018, and I've tried out a bunch of different companies to see what they're all about. And honestly, the majority of these companies are teaching children, or they're really restrictive about what countries they'll hire from. That's a huge problem that you've probably seen in the ESL teaching industry. But these are both things that kind of make Twenix stand out. I'm going to start right off with who can work for Twenix, so you don't waste your time going through this video just to find out it's not for you. Who can apply to Twenix? You don't need to be a native English speaker, you don't need a degree, and you don't need a teaching certification. They also don't have a set number of hours that you need to teach a week, nor do they require a certain amount of experience. This means as long as you can pass the interview process, you are good to teach. You are from the United States, South Africa, Canada, Brazil, the Philippines, it doesn't matter. What they do care about is that you're fluent. They want good teachers. So if you've been struggling to find a company that you can work for online and you're not from one of the 6 countries that most of these companies will hire from, you can go ahead and teach, even as a brand new teacher. It also means that this could be your very first job teaching online because they don't require a set amount of experience. I will get into what the classes look like here in a minute. So how do they pay? Twenix pays in euros, and your base pay is going to be dependent on where you are from. So for example, in the UK, they're going to pay between 13 and 15 euros per hour. If you're from Argentina, they will pay between 7 and 11 euros per hour. Depending on the exchange rate on any given day, you're looking at about roughly $13 to $16 an hour as a US citizen. Payouts are monthly between the 2nd and 5th of every month, and they will pay out using either Wise or Payoneer. If you're planning on using Payoneer and you don't yet have an account, the link for the Payoneer sign up is in the description box below. You can also increase your pay by teaching more classes. And again, stay with me because I'm going to show you what the classes look like here in a minute. You will be paid your base pay rate for the first 100 classes, and that's considered level 1. But there are 6 levels altogether, and each time you hit a new level, you start earning more money. This is what it looks like on my end. At level 2, after I teach 100 classes, I'll get my first pay raise. Because classes are booked in the half-hour slots, this would be a pay raise after 50 hours of teaching. And your pay is going to be different depending on what kind of class you teach. They have both audio and video classes, and the video classes have a higher pay rate. Before I get into the application process and what their classes look like, I want to tell you a little bit about Twenix. All of their classes are 26 minutes. Get it? Twenix, 26. You are provided the materials to use, the training, and they give you the students. You do not have to find your own students to enroll in this platform. And you don't have to do internal marketing either. You need to do feedback, but you're gonna do it like right at the end of class or during class. Your students are all going to be adults from primarily either Italy or Spain. Most of them are going to be taking classes during their working hours. Some of them will take classes after work and on weekends as well. So the way that this works is Twenix actually works with like the HR departments of places. They work with companies that provide English lessons as an employee perk. So the students aren't actually paying for the lessons the majority of the time. It is their boss. So that means you're going to be working with a lot of motivated business professionals, individuals who are looking to get pay raises or promotions or find better jobs. These are people who are learning for the purpose of business related adventures, I guess. They started in 2019 as a small school doing lessons on Skype. 3 English students actually started Twenix. So these students were actually doing the traditional learning, learning out of a book. And they had such a bad experience. They're like, hold up, there's gotta be a better way to do this. So they started Twenix. So the curriculum that Twenix uses is actually something that the students want to learn with because it was developed by students. And they don't choose their teacher, they choose their time slot. This means that you're not going to have regulars, which might be something that you love or hate. This was a little bit different for me. It was an adjustment when I did my first lesson. I was like, hold up, I have to change how I do my lessons here. I always start my lessons by building a solid relationship with the student, but because I wasn't going to continue with that student, they didn't need to have that done with every single class they took. You're going to rely on the notes that they give you instead. So other teachers will leave notes about the student, like maybe they're shy, apply, maybe they put what kind of job they have in there, and then you can put your own notes in there about the student as well. So it's really about teachers working together to help a student advance. But what I love about not having regulars is they have this really cool substitute teacher part of their program. You can be a sub teacher by checking the transfer request page, and if another teacher has an emergency come up, all they have to do is request another teacher to take it and be a substitute. You can't cancel classes, but you can transfer them. And I thought this was a pretty cool feature because I've heard a lot of teachers ask for this from the other companies they work for, and it's nice to see that it's a feature that works. Another thing that I liked is that you can turn on last minute bookings. How does a Twenix class work? There are two styles of Twenix classes, audio and video. The curriculum is conversation based and they want you to provide corrections in the chat using the correction feature. As I said, each class is 26 minutes long and you do need to do feedback as soon as you end the class. But the feedback is really simple. You can't choose if you only want to do audio or video. As a Twenix teacher, you have to be available for both because you can get signed either type. If you're worried about doing audio only classes, it's really not that different. I feel that when you're teaching kids, you need to have the video. That's not really the case when you're teaching adults. So how do you apply? The link to apply is in the description box, but let me walk you through the process. The first part of the application process is to fill out the questionnaire. After that, they'll send you a video application. Read the instructions. This is not a demo video. You can't send in your demo video that you've used for other companies. They're going to give you some mock students and 2 video tasks. They'll tell you some of the questions that they want you to ask, and then you have to prepare a 2-minute or less video using these questions in class. Then they'll ask you to do a second 2-minute video. My second task was to show how I would give feedback and end the class. The third step of the application process is to do their onboarding training. Some of it is something that you read, some of it is video, some of it is audio. It's pretty much just going over what they expect as a teacher, how the lessons are going to be, like a teacher's handbook, and there are quizzes. You have to get all of the answers right to pass a quiz, but if you fail it, you can retake it until you pass it. Once you pass the onboarding process, you can log in to your teacher account. Actually, they don't call you a teacher, you are a Tweacher, and you can start tweaching. Twenix is doing a huge hiring push. They're looking to hire between 500 and 600 teachers by October, so this is a good time to apply if you're interested. As I mentioned before, I tested out the platform. I wanted to see what it was actually like before I came on here and told you about it. I wanted to see what it was like to be a Tweacher. I've been a teacher for a while, but I've never been a Tweacher before. The entire application process only took a couple of days to get hired and start. I was up and teaching pretty quickly. So I opened up my schedule on Thursday. I only opened it up for Monday through Fridays. My first class was on Monday, and I actually had 3 back-to-back classes, which isn't bad for a first day of teaching, and they were all audio. So if you're looking to teach online and teach adults with a flexible company, Twenix just might be the company that you're looking for. If you're interested, I'll put the link to apply in the description box. And if you have any questions or comments or experiences working with Twenix, let us know in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them. And if you've never taught adults before and you want to know how this works, or if you're looking to improve teaching to adults, there are some really cool ways that you can improve teaching to adults. If you check this video over here, I walk you through some of the best techniques that you can use in your classes. Click the link and I'll see you over there.